Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening and we ask that you will lead and guide us as we work to make decisions to help move our city forward, to make sure that our plans align with yours. These things we pray in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes of the conference work session of July 17th.
So moved. Sorry.
Approval of minutes of the regular session of July 17th.
So moved. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of the special session of July 31st.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Andrea Meyerberg wishes to address council concerning the work being performed in the city.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I set a tone to tonight, but maybe I won't. But I hope so. I just wanted to thank you all for working on our city. It is an irritant, a constant irritant. It's a terrible irritant. And it is an enormous job to have undertaken. I think there are cities that might have just wanted to look the other way. But I don't know what you can do in an old city with old infrastructure than to do this kind of thing. And I suspect you catch a lot of crap from people about it. But you need to know that it is just wonderful. I am so proud that you dared to do it. And I also suspect you did it because there was money available to do it. And I'm really grateful that we had a president at one point who was willing to not just talk about providing infrastructure, but actually providing it, and we can do it. I have no idea when it will be done. I know it. I don't even know the figures that support it. I mean, it has to be overwhelming. But I am so proud of my city that we are doing this, and I want to thank you all for biting the bullet, and we're chewing on the bullets on a daily basis, but it's worth it. And thank you.
Thank you.
Sean Jeju wishes to address council concerning the cemeteries and parks.
Good evening. As all of you are probably aware, I'm the guy that's over the cemeteries within the city of Clarksburg. Now, I know there's been a lot of Facebook warriors, people that just don't seem to understand that a nonprofit organization runs on funds. And I'm going to come before you because I'm going to ask you something that I've asked before over the years, because I've had people tell me I should give up the cemeteries to the city. Would the city be interested in taking on the cemeteries? You can save that for your public comments. I'd appreciate it. I just wanted it on the record because I've told people beforehand.
City manager's report.
So I'm going to run through it quickly. Everybody knows we're super busy in the city, as you can see from all the construction, but all the departments are still maintaining their regular service to the city and business owners and residents. So the VA has been busy. Lots of different venues have been happening. The splash zone and mini golf have been up and running. They've been working on a drainage project in the Clarksburg City Park. and they've already been prepping for some of the fall work that has to be done for sports ball. And maintenance staff, both full and part-time crews, continue working on the grounds and will transition to consistent schedules as the weather stabilizes. We've worked on through our code enforcement, compiling the next list for demo contracts. We're completing the paperwork for our current demo grant into our new one. We've also had our sanitary board meetings and project meetings for Main and Pike Street, along with other various meetings that code is attending. There's been 82 building permits and a total job cost of $761,000. There are daily logs being kept, and condemned and vacant properties were checked daily. I've got a few issues sent to me by council members, and those are all followed up on as quickly as possible. In July, the finance department collected almost $1 million in B&O taxes, $35,000 in hotel tax, and below that is all the different fees that are coming to the city. We also prepared and sent the budget revisions for fiscal year 25-26 to the state auditor's office after council approved. Next is the fire department. So what the fire department is doing now is they're breaking down all the calls so council can see where the calls are going. As you can see, the majority of calls out of the fire department are rescue and EMS calls. Grants and community development continue to work throughout the city on different projects, talking to different business owners, applying for various grants. We're working on some projects for cost recovery into the city for outstanding bills, and there's the community gardens that we've been doing. We've also worked with other departments on different projects that they're working on and provided updates to council for awards and funding. CDS is moving through, so it looks like one CDS grant has moved and one hasn't, but we're getting more updates on those grants the closer we get to fall. And we're also, we'll continue to work with Coke Gas and the Water Board regarding their ongoing upgrades to make sure we're getting those messages out to the community on social media, via email, and we have narrowed it down to a couple companies for text alerts, but we can also use those in other ways, so that's really good. The Clarksburg Police Department responded to 2,131 calls for service in the month of July. There's been 2 officers who began the basic class at the State Police Academy, and they will be in August. And citizens are reminded that schools will be back in session, so please slow down and be aware of stopped school buses. The Public Works Department has been very busy. They're helping with any issues that arise with construction. We're also setting up and cleaning up for a lot of the fairs and festivals that are going on, along with maintaining city streets with sweeping and cleaning and trash pickup. We've had a lot of compost coming in, 6,200 pounds of processed compost in the last month. We've reinstalled missing signage. We're working, and we've ordered a couple of neighborhood signs to be put up, and we're also working on trying to get a couple of new signs for the business park on Columbia Boulevard as well. They took in 1,856 phone calls this month and responded to and documented multiple service calls and work orders. The RG has a full lineup for August. If you'd like to see what they have going on, go to robinsonbrand.com. And the sewer sanitary department, they've been incredibly busy simply because of the construction that's going on. There's a lot of unintended consequences that come with having old lines, as we all know. So there's a lot of overtime, a lot of helping out with other contractors, answering calls when there's even water lines we're going up just to assist when that happens along with our sanitary lines, because sometimes we don't know where the issue is. And then within the sanitary board, design is taking place with the Arlington Glen Falls section of the Army Corps project to provide sewer. And we're working on plans to remove and replace the storm water line with AutoZone. That's a particular interest, as that line is what stopped water from downtown, coming into downtown for a few hours. So we are working on that. And replacing the manholes at the Haven Highway Bridge construction. The leadership over in the sewer sanitary department are in constant conversation with contractors that are working throughout the city. And as a reminder, please do not flush baby wipes or flushable wipes down the drains. They do not dissolve and can cause blockages in the sewer line as well as damage to the pumps.
Unfinished business, consideration of second and final reading of public hearing of an ordinance establishing salaries or compensation for municipal officers and employees for fiscal year 2025-2026 and repealing all inconsistent ordinances. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Express Telegram on July 22nd and July 29th.
We will now open the public hearing. For those who want to speak for or against, may do so now. We will close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
Just a quick question. So after this passes, when will this pay increase then go into effect? Is it immediately?
Yes, the 15th, and we'll also be back paying to the beginning of July, so there'll be two, like the COLA, it's divided by 26 pays, that's how many there is, or, yeah, 24 pays, that's how many there's a year, so there'll be an additional amount on the 15th of August.
Okay, so it will be retro. And then,
Yes.
will we be issuing two separate checks? And the reason why I'm asking is, I'm not sure if this would be maybe this is a financial question. If this is a tax implication based upon maybe the amounts some of the employees could get, if they're also getting overtime in effect, it'd be more taxes taken out. So if it is, I'd request that two separate checks be issued.
We'll check into that, if there's gonna be a tax implication, we'll write it separate.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance transferring 210 Monticello Avenue, immediately adjacent property, 225 Monticello Avenue, 440 Lee Avenue, 415 High Street, and adjoining property next to 311 Davis Street and 213 Quincy Street, from the city of Clarksburg to the Clarksburg Land Reuse Agency. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared as previously stated.
We now open the public hearing. Those who want to speak for or against may do so now. Close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we move the properties as read to the City of Clarksburg Land Reuse Agency.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the city of Clarksburg to rezone and reclassify certain property adjacent to Stony Brook Road from an R1 to a B2. Notices appeared as previously stated.
We will open up the public hearing. Those who want to speak for or against may do so now.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Deborah Varner. I represent VNS Land. I've spoken to you before and at the Planning Commission. So I'm here to speak in favor of the rezoning on this piece of property from R1 to B2, which is general business. At the prior meeting, I passed out maps. If anyone needs to see those maps again, it showed the area that we're talking about. There's no reason not to rezone this particular piece of property. It promotes the development. It's a reasonable use of the land, and it allows the intent of the zoning ordinances to be observed. So my clients who own several businesses in the area and in Clarksburg respectfully request that you vote in favor of the ordinance to zone from R1 to B2. Thank you.
We will close the public hearing.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I'll make a motion to rezone and reclassify certain property adjacent to Stony Brook Road from R1 to B2.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Councilmember Dean,
No.
Councilmember Howe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Ward,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rick.
Yes.
Motion carries. New business. Consideration of award of bid for milling and paving streets and alleys.
Vice Mayor, I move to award the milling and paving to Asphalt Kings in the amount of $203,667.82.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Harrison Clarksburg Board of Health.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we appoint Annetta Payne to the Harrison Clarksburg Board of Health.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Parking Authority.
Mr.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we appoint Mr. Jeff Thompson to the Parking Board.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we appoint Mr. Tyler Buffy to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Guess I can run through them here. Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we appoint the infamous Gary Key to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Urban Renewal Authority.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I move we appoint Mr. Brian Benton to the URA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Board of Park Commissioners.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I make a motion to reappoint James Larry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Should I go to council comment?
Yeah, we deviate from agenda, we go to council comments. Dean, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Again, I'd like to thank the woman who came and spoke in support of all the construction projects. I live in Northview. We're dealing with it in the neighborhood. It took me 5 minutes to get out of the neighborhood yesterday, and I don't know how many times I get frustrated when I head up the street and then realize that I'm in the detour when I could have just taken the other way around. But it's frustrating. Good things are happening, and so let's stay positive as we move through. School is coming back in session, so please be mindful. Not next week, but the week after, we'll be seeing school buses, and we'll start seeing more kids on the street. So please be cautious. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Deems. Councilman Hunter?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Several years ago, we passed an ordinance, I believe it passed unanimously, that we would live stream our meetings, not only the city council meetings, but different boards. I've noticed we've kind of been slacking on that. I'd like for you, Ms. City Manager, to make sure that we try as hard as we can to make sure that these meetings are live streamed, specifically the URA and the land use agency. Any other meetings I haven't been live streamed. It's difficult, and I'm going to be frank here. I've been trying to look at minutes on the website for these meetings. I don't see them. Sometimes my man eyes, sometimes I just can't see stuff. I'm sure some of you understand, but I don't see them. So when we have meetings, for example, this last meeting, not this meeting, but this last meeting, we discussed the planning and zoning change. It was difficult to understand what was happening because I hadn't seen it, I hadn't heard of it, and I want to make sure we stay on top of these things because I know people want to see it. We owe it to the citizens to be as transparent as we can, and I'd like for that to continue. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Hunter. Councilman Ward?
Yeah, I think this evening, I just want to I just have one concern, but I want to recognize a whole bunch of folks because there's been a lot of work being done in the city. Even through our water project and stuff, our city employees, are just working around the clock. I'm looking at this city manager's report, public works, our police fire department. We had a national night out just the other night, and that was spectacular just to see not only our fire department but our police department, helping out with that. And it's so great when you see, a child win a bike that may not be able to afford a bike. That's always nice too. And also want to give kudos to the sheriff's department too, because they had a national night out too down at the law enforcement division and sheriff's department for folks in that neighborhood too that wanted to partake in that. Also too, I just want to thank everybody at the park board too. I mean, if you just amazing how like even with National Night Out, just every day the splash zone, the VA park. I mean, there's the amphitheater. I mean, there's been a lot of good events that are happening there, and you know what a tremendous job that they're doing too. And I want to give them recognition for that. The other person I want to give recognition to is my fellow council member here, Will Hyman, and also Mark Jackson, another fellow council member. And I'll start with Will first. Will received recognition from the Adopt a Highway program in West Virginia for the last probably 10 years. A little stretch of highway in Pocahontas County that comes in from Virginia. He's picked up nearly 3,200 pounds of litter. And it may not sound, significant, but if you look at in how much the state generated in tourism dollars in 2023, about $8.7 billion. And about $1 billion of those dollars was revenues that went to state and local governments. And the reason why I commend Will for his efforts is because that's the first thing that people see when they come into West Virginia. And even in Clarksburg, everybody that helps out with litter cleanup efforts and stuff. I always say that the perception you get when you first see a place, is something, it will decide whether you come back to that place or you don't. And so I just want to thank you, Will, for that. That's, not only a true ambassador to the city, but also to the state. And I want to also recognize Councilman Mark Jackson too. On last Saturday, we had it was the Chamber of Commerce, Kiwanis Club, and the Hope Lions Club put on a fishing day at Deegan Lake in Bridgeport for 17 foster kids with CASA. And when I first showed up, because I was fishing with some of those kids, Mark Jackson, Councilmember Jackson was out there setting up, and it's just really, I think everybody on this board, has unique gifts, and that's why they were elected to this board. Not necessarily for the decisions they make up here, but for the things they do outside of here. So I want to recognize at least you two tonight for the good work that you did. Okay. So my one concern, and I was going to ask you, Tiffany, if you look into this. So I have a couple of sources that have brought to my attention that there is a wastewater treatment plant being built out on the off the Quiet Dell exit. And my concern with that is that, and I don't know if this is valid or not, that Number 4 may plan to tie into that when it's done. Whether that's valid or not, I don't know. If someone could look into that, because I really feel like, we do such a tremendous job at our wastewater treatment plant, the leadership there, and to lose 2,000 customers would be pretty significant. So, we may have to look at our budget going forward if that's the case. So, if you could look into that, I don't know whether it's valid or not, but it was something that, definitely was a concern to me. So, and that's all I got. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Lockwood. Councilman Jackson.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet this evening. I would like to thank everyone for coming into the meeting tonight, everyone who showed up. But I would like to take just a few moments to recognize our city clerk. She was elected at the Municipal League to be the president of the West Virginia City Clerks Association. And even though we may not recognize, I didn't realize when I came in, I always thought the mayor, the city manager, everybody, these are the people who make things happen. That's the person who makes things happen. You know, Annette may not have all the answers, but one thing I figured out, she sure knows where to find them all. So, Annette puts a lot of great work in. She does a lot of great things. And even when we don't recognize it, people all around the state do recognize it enough that they're willing to put their trust in her as her leadership. So please give me a moment, everybody, and let's thank Annette for the hard work.
Councilman Jackson, Councilman Howell.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. Just a couple of things. If we could, I believe we have a sign ordinance, or I believe it's still in place, but for all the signs are hanging on the poles and things like that, they're starting to creep back up. Houses for sale, they're pretty obnoxious. They're pretty large down here on Pike Street too. If we could make sure we call them and get those removed and have Public Works remove them and send a fine to them as well if need be. Also, just a reminder, if you can give me that engagement letter with Stephen Johnson as well. So if we need to add anything to that, maybe we'll go back to the next council meeting for economic development purposes as well. And then really, I just wanted to say thank you to the city manager and Chief Kitty for dealing with a complaint sent yesterday. Appreciate that, helping a constituent out there. And thank you for following up with him as well on that. He was greatly appreciated. And then also thank you to Jason Myers from the Water Board. Called him today for a small issue on East Main that he took care of for a constituent up there as well that had an issue. And then just thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Appreciate the great turnout from the fire department. It's always good to see you here. That's all I have, Vice Mayor.
Councilman Howell. I'll keep it short. Actually, I won't keep it short. Sorry, Chief Kitty, I think it's rules. I want to thank the woman that came here and spoke tonight. I don't think anybody up here was expecting that to be a positive comment. Because things are frustrating throughout the city. Everybody lives in the middle of it. So I want to thank those that are patient and understanding, and as we work through this, and thank you to the staff for the updates, staying on top of it and doing the best that we can in this tough time. Better days are ahead, smoother roads are ahead. Don't know when they're coming. Also, since we're all being very celebratory of our colleagues, Councilman Howell played like 10 hours of golf, right? Which sounds like more of a luxury, but it's not that easy. I mean, playing 36 holes in one day is not easy. Playing 10 hours. Also, the top fundraiser. Top fundraiser, which is the real reason for doing it. So, well, he'd probably do it anyway, just to be honest. So, thank you for what you do for United Way, your time spent that day, and the money that you raised. So.
Thank you.
I want to give a happy belated birthday to our mayor. I'm guessing that maybe why he's not here. Maybe he's celebrating his birthday still. But happy belated birthday. Do we know how old he is?
You gonna say it?
No. Look right at Steve. I don't know why. I know it's nothing.
He's older than Steve.
Thank the fire department for coming out. And see something, say something. I'll keep that going. And that's it. Oh, First Friday's tomorrow. The barbershop Caps down the street, they're giving free haircuts to kids all day, which is pretty amazing. Because you want to start out the school year with a new fresh haircut and you want to look good for your first day. That's how I always was. New pair of shoes, new haircut, you felt fly. So I appreciate the business for doing it. I think he's doing it for 3 or 4 years in a row now. So we're very happy that he does that and really appreciate what he does in the community. First Friday's tomorrow, School of Rocks, Plains, Rocks, and Grand. So come out and thank you everybody for coming.
Got a motion? Oh,
Yeah, so we got.
Discussion regarding confidential legal and personnel matters.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Pursuant to Chapter 6, Article 9A, Section 4 of the West Virginia Code, I move the council adjourn into executive session to discuss matters involving purchase, sale, lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving competition, which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the city. To discuss legal matters and personnel matters, that the following persons be present: the Vice Mayor, members of City Council, the City Manager, the City Attorney, the City Clerk, and reserving the right to call others into executive session as necessary.
So.
we have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.